Let's jump into problem 18.6a. We're doing tax loss carryforwards. Here's how it works, and here's sort of the rationale of a tax loss carryforward. Let's say you start a new business, and your company, as often happens, loses money at the start as you're getting your feet underneath you. And let's say you lose money for several years, and eventually you make a little bit of profit. The tax loss carryforward rule says, well, if you lost money all those previous years, you can use those losses and write them off against your gains this year, right? You can carry forward those losses to be written off against future gains. And so in the moment when you have a tax loss, if you predict that you're going to have future gains, you have to say, well, doesn't that look like a deferred tax asset? At some point in the future, I'm going to be able to use these as write-offs against future income. Well, if it's more likely than not, or if it's likely, depending on the tax jurisdiction, I should recognize a deferred tax asset now. And that's what this topic's about. 18.6a says, Smithers Company began operations in 2031. The company has the following pre-tax profits or losses for its first 2 years of operation. Because the company has no temporary permanent differences, this list is also the taxable income, 100 grand in 2031. Negative, it loses 100 grand in 2031. Then the company makes 250 in 2032. The relevant tax rates for our problem are 20% for 2031 and 25% for 2032, and they had been enacted in early 2031. The company expected 2031 would be unprofitable, but expected after that would be highly profitable, and certainly looks like things lived up to expectations. And so that means it sort of hits the threshold of like, okay, I lost money in the first year, but it's likely I'm going to be making money in future years. And if it's likely I'm going to be making money in future years, it's likely I'm going to be able to use this 100 grand against my future profits. And that means I have to recognize a deferred tax asset now. So, prepare journal entries for 2031 and 2032. Let's get to it. The math here isn't too hard. In 2031, we lost 100 grand, and the tax rate's 20%. But remember, we don't pay any tax in 2031. We lost money, and in fact, when we use this $100,000 write-off essentially in a future year, it gets used against the future year profit, which are taxed at 25%, meaning our deferred tax asset is happening at 25%, right? We're using 100 grand as a future write-off. The tax rate that we're going to be writing off is 25%. So we're going to be saving $25,000. This loss is going to give us future tax savings of $25,000. What's the journal entry look like? Well, on whenever we do our tax journal entry, I'm going to say December 31st, 2031, we debit deferred tax asset for $25,000. Our deferred tax asset is going up, some future tax benefit we're going to be enjoying, and we credit deferred tax benefit, $25,000. Quick cough, and then a quick clarification. So this deferred tax benefit account, I've seen it frequently called deferred tax expense. You just credit a deferred tax expense. Totally fine, an appropriate way to do it. I would follow along with how your professor is doing it or how your textbook is doing it. Deferred tax benefit is one of the commonly used ways, but different texts use different phrasing here. So just be a little bit careful to match with your own course. Okay, so that's our December 31st, 2031 entry. Now we want to do 2032. So December 31st, 2032. We've done the 2031, on to 2032. What happened in 2032? Well, we made money. We made $250. And remember what we said? We said, okay, well, it's $250 that we made, but I'm going to be able to have a write-off of 100 grand with my previous loss that I'm carrying forward into this year. So I'm actually only going to get taxed on 150. So that's actually my taxable income. Maybe taxable is not a good word there. 150 is what I'm actually going to get taxed on. And 150 at 25%. I don't have my calculator out, but let's pull my calculator out. I think it's 37.5. 150, is this showing up properly? Yes, it is. Times 0.25, 37.5. Okay, that's the only thing I need the calculator for. So I'm only going to have to pay $37,500 in taxes. So let's deal with that piece first, because of course that's going to create my income tax payable, $37,500. And that is going to be, we'll call it current, not deferred, income tax expense. It's my current income tax expense. But I'm not done, because I've got this deferred asset sitting on my books, $25,000 asset, saying, oh, I'm going to have saved tax dollars in the future. Well, we're not going to save tax dollars in the future. We've just saved our tax dollars. So on December 31st, 2032, that's the ugliest two of my life. And I've had some ugly twos before. We got to get rid of this deferred tax asset. So let's get rid of that. D-tax asset goes to 0. And we debit D-tax expense. My deferred tax expense this year is 25. I've certainly also seen these combined, right? You could combine them and have just an income tax expense for the year of 62.5, and we'll see that in our disclosures in a minute. But that's how I would do my December 31st, 2032 entry, and there we have Part A in the books. Part B says, prepare the income tax section of the income statement for each year. So we'll start with income, or well, I guess in year one it's loss before tax, and our loss before tax is $100,000. Then we have income tax benefit or deferred tax benefit, I-tax benefit, deferred. And it's just like the one income statement account here, right? D-tax benefit. Maybe I should have called it D-tax benefit. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. 25,000. And we're down to 75,000 negative, and that is our net loss after tax, $75,000. Now, important to note, like, the government doesn't send me a refund for this $25,000 because I haven't paid any taxes to be refunded. It's just $25,000 like future income taxes that I'm not going to have to pay. Okay, let's look at the next year. Next year, you can see my income, not loss. Income before tax is $250,000. I have these two tax accounts, current income tax expense, deferred tax expense. So let's do a heading here. Income tax expense, current, deferred, total income tax expense. My current income tax expense, $37,500. My deferred income tax expense, $25,000. The total here, $62,500. Income before tax minus income tax equals net income. Our net income, $250 minus 62 is $187,500. And we've done ourselves a beautiful job. We've completed 18.6a. Just a couple of side comments. The first is like, okay, if the company expects it's more likely than not, or likely that it's going to be profitable going forward, we treat it this way. But what happens if the company isn't sure or doesn't think it's going to be profitable in the future years? How do they deal with it then? Well, we'll look at that in problem 18.7. One other comment. There's something called a loss carry back, where you've been profitable, and then you make a loss. Can you carry that loss back? And the answer is depends on the country. In the US, no. In lots of other countries, yes. So I've put those types of questions in the appendix to this chapter. So if you're thinking, oh, he's talking about loss carryforwards, but my textbook has stuff about loss carrybacks, that's in the appendix to the chapter. Why is it relegated to the appendix? Most of my audience is in the US and they won't have to deal with that. So if you're looking for loss carrybacks, that's in the appendix to the chapter. Other than that, the one other thing to look for, the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.